we can just kind of go on automatic pilot, and we can have judgments about how something in the future is going to go. Like I have this idea about how this situation that I'm looking at is going to go, and a lot of times we forget to stay open-minded for the possibilities of what might be instead of what we perceive ourselves to be. Look at you, Debbie, you're doing 2 classes right in a row today. I'm impressed. So anyway, I want you to think about how your practice helps you to stay open-minded. And this can show up in so many different ways. You can assume someone's thinking something. You can assume a new situation that's coming into your life is going to be this way, instead of just opening up to the possibility of anything can happen. And I think this gives us the seeds for optimism. If we have a lot of already concrete ideas, and this is our brain. We are human, and we naturally do these kinds of things where we compartmentalize and segment things into their proper places, and this helps us stay organized. It helps us stay safe. It keeps us moving in certain directions. But a lot of times there can be limitations when we already put things in boxes that we think they should be in, instead of just being open to the possibility. So it takes a lot of work to cultivate the courage to not judge something before it occurs. And I think this is a really important aspect of our practice, that we can feed ourselves in this way. We can learn deep awareness of the moment. So, all the expectations we have of the future really come because we are not present in the moment at hand. So the more we can cultivate on this moment and this moment, the more we are open to the possibility of the future unfolding in beautiful, unknown ways instead of preconceived notions. So close your eyes for a moment and think about something that you might have a preconceived notion about, something in your life that you're like, I know it's going to go this way, or I expect it to go this way, or I know how that person feels. And instead, can you shut down that analytical part of the mind a little bit and come into the possibility of so many options, the sense of the funnel going upward, that the possibilities are endless about what this might be for you, a relationship, an event, something at work, anything, whatever it is that's in your mind. Can you open yourself to the possibility of A, not knowing what will happen, and B, being optimistic that perhaps the best of possibilities, that you can believe the best of yourself and others, that something might turn out way better, way different than you ever could have dreamed yourself. What does it feel like to have possibility in your breath, and in your mind, and in your body? What does it feel like to have optimism kind of moving hand in hand with possibility? If we slump our posture, we often close down possibility and optimism in a very unconscious way. So let's see what we can do to keep an open heart, to keep an open chest, to keep the shoulders and the head slightly back. Try not to push yourself into this posture, but invite yourself into this posture. Give yourself the opportunity to breathe. Is there any tension that can be peeled away or drained or melted? Scan through your body and notice places that you might hold some tension that's not necessary. How's your rib cage? How's your diaphragm? How are all the muscles in your neck? Are you allowing breath? What would it feel like to drop tension away from your shoulders? To feel your shoulder blades slide down just a bit, like little tiny weights hanging off the bottom tips. How do you integrate that to the center and front body so you're not just pushing your shoulder blades forward on the ribs? Can you feel that the chest can be broad, the collarbones can be broad, the heads of the arm bones can be back, but this doesn't have to be a forced, tight, concrete state, that it's movable, your neck's movable, your ribs are movable as you breathe. Your belly is free. Drop a little lower and ground yourself. Come into your seat and connect. Feel your earth below you, the grounding. As you're ready, place your palms at your heart and open your heart. Can you think of a specific circumstances of the mind, the body, where you have closed yourself to possibility or you're leaning into a judgment? Can you let your practice help you open this up? Release the hands and let's come onto your back. Okay, so as you find your way, see what it feels like to have a different sense of relationship to gravity as you find your way onto your back. How long ago has it been since you've been horizontal in your bed? Can you imagine the ease? And can you feel the ease? Supine has something totally different to offer us than vertical. And it doesn't mean you have to stay here. It doesn't mean that this is all we've got. But enjoy it while it's here. Enjoy the joint spaces opening up, becoming more free. Let your body spread out. Take up a little more space. Drop your limbs as if you're dropping into warm earth. Okay, so like lying in grass or on warm sand. Just see what it feels like to let your body melt for a moment. And then we're gonna stretch our arms like we always do. Reach them up overhead. Notice what your breath wants to do. Do you want to stretch one side, then the other? Just feel into the body. You can wiggle the toes, roll the ankles, roll the wrists, wiggle the fingers, anything that awakens you. And then let's pause with our arms in a cactus. So elbows are straight out from the shoulders. Goalpost your arms so the backs of your hands come to rest on the floor. And if this is difficult for you, if your body doesn't naturally allow this movement, experiment with some different vectors of movement. So perhaps try taking your elbows a little lower toward your sides. Perhaps taking your hands a little wider away from your head. Experiment with some different ranges of motion that would allow you to rest your arms fully on the ground. While you're here, can you, instead of feeling like this makes you push your chest up, can you melt everything again back into the earth? Can you feel your shoulders drop into the earth? Can you feel your ribs expand on the breath? And then release. Keep your hands where they are, but release your legs. Bend your knees, feet on the floor. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Let's just start waking up the sides of the bodies a little bit. And then we're going to add some arm movements into this. So as the knees go left, stretch your right arm up and overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Come back. And as your knees go right, stretch your left arm up, up, up. And just find some gentle side opening while you're twisting. So just enjoy the way this makes your body feel. And then we're going to turn all the way over onto our right side and stretch the left side of the body. Come back to center. Roll all the way to your left. Stretch your right arm overhead. Stretch your whole right side body. And then come back to center. Arms and legs wide. Starfish your body out. Swivel around your ankles, your wrists. Open up your feet and your hands. And then knees into the chest. And your chin comes up too. Relax your head down, keep your knees in, rock a little bit, Let's try opening up our hips. So knees come wide and back in. Just kind of come back and forth to opening the pelvis a little bit, feeling the hips widen and open. And then starfish one more time. Body out wide. Exhale, chin up. And roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. So as we find our way onto all fours, just invite some cat-cows. Once you get grounded and yielding, find your breath and your yielding before anything else. Just see if you can always make that a part of your practice, even if I forget to mention it. Can you remember that we're always trying to seek this breath and awareness as our primary state in our practice? Regardless of what our limbs are doing and movement patterns, we want to find the breath. We want to find our ground. Start moving through some cat-cows, feeling yourself arch and round the spine. Remember that you have a head that's connected to the rest of your body. Remember that you have a tail connected. And also remember that you have shoulder blades that glide and slide on the ribs. Can you feel them protract away from each other as you round the spine? Can you feel your shoulder blades move toward the spine as you arch your back a little bit? And then move around any way you want. Swirl your body, breathe your body, ground. Feel the yielding of your hands, feel the yielding of your knees. And then settle back towards child's pose, a deep hip flexion. So lift and widen the sit bones. Take your knees as far apart as you want them to be. Go wherever your body allows. Stretch your arms overhead and feel that extension through your sides. Relax your head. Walk the hands over to one side. Open up the side body again. And come around to the other side, feeling the sense of stretch and openness through your ribs. Never a bad idea to stretch the muscles in between your rib cage. Open up the breath. Come back to center. Come onto all fours. Walk your hands forward or your knees back, wherever your mat allows, and come into puppy pose so the hips stay high. The chest drops down. The armpits lift up. The hands are firm on the ground. Relax the head. Feel the heart lift toward the pelvis. Feel the stretch in the mid-thoracic spine. All right, come back. Walk your knees forward or your hands back, all fours. Inhale, lift one arm up to the sky. Stretch your chest. Exhale and drop that shoulder down. Open up your body. Feel the back body expand. Don't let the twist go beyond what the breath can take you. So if you're used to pushing your hand into the floor to deepen your pose, what can you do to yield the hand instead of push the hand? What can you do to open the thoracic spine and the ribs? Instead of pushing your way there, breathe your way there. When you come out of the pose, halfway out, turn your chest toward the floor, drop back towards child's pose and stretch the back side of your shoulder. Collarbones stay broad. Open up this is a beautiful stretch for the infraspinatus and the teres. These are muscles in the back side of your rotator cuff. Keep the collarbones broad and then relax that. Come back up onto all fours. Either put your hand down or if you want to redo the stretch up in the air, go ahead and do that. And then let's find the second side. Lifting the arm to the sky, exhale and slide that shoulder down, finding a twist. Remember, we're not pushing into the floor to deepen the twist, we're breathing into the twist. We're yielding our hand into the floor. Can you feel the difference? Yielding is such a subtlety that it takes a long time to really cultivate. So do you practice it every time you practice? Do you have a sense of knowing the difference between pushing and prodding your body and yielding and moving from a deep inner place with breath? Feel the shoulder blades expand. And then as you come out of the pose, halfway out, drop your hips back like child's pose. Chest is facing the floor. Collarbones broaden. Feel the back side of your shoulder stretch, even your triceps a little bit. And then release and relax that. Lift that arm all the way up in the air. Place the hand down onto the ground. Curl toes under. Lift sit bones high. Dog pose.
All right, so maybe this is the first moment you've had to stretch your hamstrings and calves today. So let's take our time, feel into your body, drop one heel down, bend the opposite knee. Let your body be happy. So if this is painful, take your time. Notice little subtleties of awareness, of openness. Can you yield your hands and feet into the ground? Can you rebound through your spine? Is your head relaxed? Do you feel a melting through your skull? How is your breath? Spread out the bones of your hands and your feet and enjoy your body. And enjoy what you're feeling. Find something to enjoy. What are the possibilities here of what your body is able to open up to feel? And then walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. The knees stay bent. The hips hinge at the hip joints. Lift the sit bones. Relax your head down. Bobble your head around. Feel any ease come through your spine. You can shake. Inhale for a halfway lift. The thigh bones move back. The shin bones are forward. Exhale and melt again. Push off your feet, rise up, coming up to stand. If you ever, when you come to stand, if you get really dizzy, take some time here. You can squeeze one thigh over the other. You can squeeze your hands into each other. Let your blood pressure return back to equilibrium. And then as you're ready, lift your arms up in the air. Find your breath, lean back a little bit, cactus open the arms like we did on the floor. See if you can spread across your chest. And then keep that spreading and stretch your arms straight out. Fingertips pointing toward the walls next to you. Palms are facing down to begin. Drop your shoulders again. Flip your palms up. Feel the change of sensation. And then tip your fingertips down toward the floor. Open your palms. Spread out your palms. And then we're going to turn our palms to face the walls and press them away. Lift your crown. Yield into your feet. Lift one ear. How's your breath? Lift the other ear. How's your breath? Pull your hands a little further back. Open across your chest. All right, and then release. Shake out your hands. Let that go. Any tension you might feel in your shoulders, see if you can let it release. Take a deep breath. Arms lifting up. Lean back a little bit. Big wide circle, bend your knees and come forward and float. Relax your head, halfway lift. How's the hamstrings now? A little bit more open. Spread open through your feet. Exhale and melt. What are the possibilities in your body right now? Are you open to any kind of movement pattern? When you're ready, hands come on blocks or on the floor, and go ahead and lift your right leg up in the air. Stand on your left leg, half splits. Extend through the spine. Let's just do a couple little bends of that knee on the ground. So move down into the earth and then rebound. Push off the floor to extend that leg a little straighter. A couple more times. Where do you want to inhale? Where do you want to exhale? Can you feel the outer hip wake up? Can you feel the soles of the feet wake up? How's your breath integrating with your movements? Can you feel the spinal extension? As you're ready, step way back with your right foot. So our left foot is forward, our right foot is back now, finding a lunge. Feel free to put your back knee on the ground. If you need a little more rest and rejuvenation, feel free to keep the knee up. When you're ready, rise. Lift your arms straight out to the sides. Find the space. Open your heart. Steady your legs. So start to feel some effort. Press your front heel into the ground. Open your chest. And then if you're able, lift both arms up in the air. If one arm, like let's say your left shoulder isn't so happy, you can just reach your right arm up. And let's say your right shoulder is not so happy, you can keep your hand on your hip and extend through your side, even without your arms overhead. If you're able, both arms up overhead. Grab onto that right wrist with the left hand and stretch your side body open. Breathing here, open the chest, cactus your arms, and then exhale and fold back again. Hop up onto your one foot, get used to the one-legged stand, feel the work of the outer hip, start to activate, pulse the leg in the air a few times. How's your breathing? Exhale, place that foot down onto the ground. Stand on your left leg. Lift your right leg in the air, half splits here. Extending through the spine. Can you feel long? Let's start to bend the right knee and then straighten the right leg. And just go back and forth of yielding with a deep bend and pressing into the extension of your spine. Square up the hips while you're doing this. Try not to let the left hip lift in the air. Deep breaths here. Inner spiral the left leg in the air so that your inner thigh is lifting toward the sky. Extend. And then when you're ready, step back to a lunge on this side. Feel the openness through the hip flexor of that left leg. Extend the crown. Decide where you, if you want your back knee on the ground or up, where you want your hands, where you want your feet. When you're ready, rise up to crescent lunge, reaching the arms up if you're able. Anywhere if you're not able, put your hands anywhere you want them to be. Okay, we're gonna grab on if you can, reaching into the right hand on the left wrist and extend up and over. Try not to compress and fall into that right side. Feel both side bodies open. How's your breath? Can you relax the base of the skull? Okay, come back, cactus the arms, big open chest. Exhale, hands down onto the ground. Step back to dog pose. Deep breaths here. How are your feet? Spread out the bones. Feel your hands and your feet move into the earth. Rebound off the ground. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Integrate here. Find your breath. And then as you're ready, come down onto the ground. Find your way to the floor. Move the bottom tips of your shoulder blades down the back and toward the spine. Integrate that with your core. Press your legs into the floor and rise up, cobra pose. Exhale, melting back down. This time, no hands. Shoulder blade tips drop down and in. Take a deep breath. Try not to compress the lumbar spine. Use your core. Exhale and release and melt. Come up onto all fours. Swirl things around, whatever feels nice. We're gonna come to lie down on our right side for a moment, okay? So as you find yourself coming onto your side, notice what your side waist is doing. You guys have heard me call this your mouse hole before, that little gap in your side waist. Can you let it rest on the ground on your inhales? And as you exhale, start to draw that side waist in and up. The transverse abdominis and the obliques are such happy friends in this action. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Let's lift. I think you're on your right side. Lift the left arm up in the air. Okay. And then we're going to lift the leg as well. So start to feel that balance isn't just about standing on one foot. Sometimes balance can be when half your body is on the floor. Feel that side waist engage, hold on to it, still breathe, relax the base of the skull, feel the outer hip open, feel the chest open. Deep breaths here. All right, let's release that down. Bring knees onto your back, bring knees to chest, rock a little bit to and fro. And then let's roll onto your left side and find the side waist. Allow allow the side waist to drop into the earth. Allow yourself to rest for a moment. And then when you're ready, lift that side waist away from the earth on your exhale. See if you can regulate and coordinate the breath. It's not always so easy, but see if your inhale can rest, your exhale can engage. When you're ready, lift the arm in the air and see what the balance is like. If you got a handle on that, go ahead and lift the leg. See if you can stack ribs, stack shoulders, stack hips, stack feet. Engage your feet. Stretch into your legs. Feel those outer hips work. Relax your neck. See if your neck wants to take over for a lot of your core. How is your breath? All right, let's relax. Melt back down. Come onto your back one more time. Knees into your chest. And release your neck. A lot of times our neck takes a lot of our unconscious tension, so pay attention to what's there. Roll over onto your side when you're ready. Come up onto all fours. Swirl things around. Breathe. Curl your toes under and then lift to dog pose. Let's take our legs wide and our hands wide. Take them to the edges of the mat. What feels different? What kind of possibilities are here in the breath? Relax your neck. All right, and then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Push off your feet, rise up to stand. Find your breathing. And then let's find our way into just a simple balance posture. So stand on your right foot. Let's lift the left knee up in the air. So try to get uncomfortable. Okay. So sometimes, when we narrow our possibilities and have our judgments is because we live in our own little lane, right? We don't like to kind of come out of our lane. Close your eyes. Whatever and your foot doesn't have to be very far off the floor. Soften your knee you're standing on. Remember those bendy knees, half lifts we did? Find that bendy knee so you're grounding. Close your eyes. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a little flaily and wonky and then put your foot down. So be okay with the uncomfortableness of having your eyes closed. Spread out the hands. Let your hands and your feet become sensors. They become your eyes. Is your core engaged? Can you feel the crown lift? Are you breathing or holding your breath? And then release and relax and put that other foot down onto the ground. Enjoy your 2 feet for a moment. Just relax into your feet and then open your eyes so you feel like, yeah, you got this. There's everything familiar around you again. And then drop into the left foot. Close your eyes as you bring that right knee up a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. Try not to lock out your left hip or your left knee or your left low back. See if you can sense into that we're giving our weight to the earth. We're rebounding through our crown. Our collarbones are spread wide. We're broad. Close your eyes. And, it's okay. Really, it's okay to be uncomfortable. Practice being uncomfortable. Brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Answer the phone with your other ear. Little teeny things. See if you can find yourself coming out of your grooves so that you open up possibility. Okay, put that foot down. Notice if you stopped breathing. How's your breath? Yield into the earth. Feel yourself. Take a deep breath in. Open your body out. Exhale and fold your body down. Relax your neck. Halfway lift. Release back down. Let's step our left foot back. So we're coming, actually step your right foot back. Steps even just a simple thing. We almost always do the right side first. Let's do the left side first. Come up to a lunge and then turn sideways on your mat. Okay. Grab a block or two. You might need 2 for this. We're going to have a block or 2. So you can, stack them up like this, one on top of the other if you need some extra height. Otherwise, you can just use 1 block if you need it to see what your availability is for Parsvakonasana. Remember, we're not trying to turn our pelvis to the front of the mat. If that's not comfortable, let your pelvis turn a little bit. Go ahead and bend your knee. Before you put your hand down on a block, ground your feet. Yield and rebound. Yield and rebound. And then put your hand on the block, and you can have 1 block, 2 blocks, however height you need underneath the block. And find Parsvakonasana. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and open across your collarbones. Reach the arm in the air if you're comfortable doing so. If your shoulder needs something different, put your hand on your hip or just down at your side. Can you feel your side waist both simultaneously lengthen and engage? Is your neck soft? Are you yielding your feet? Are you able to breathe? Is your back knee a little soft? Can you feel the spin of your front foot giving some effort to the outer hip muscles? So the toes turn left and the heel goes right. Nothing's moving, just action inside the body to wake up those hip rotators. Breathe your way here. Whatever you're doing in the pose, breathe your way here. Notice if you collapse your chest open, even if your pelvis has to turn, can you be broad across your chest? And then come back up. Find the side waist again. Reach into a half triangle or reverse triangle pose and then stretch your arms out to the side. Remember that very first thing we did with our arms. Maybe you want to flip your palms up. Give yourself the chance to get broad across your chest instead of collapse.
Find your way into Virabhadrasana 2. Root your feet. Of course, if your shoulders are unhappy, choose something different. There's so many ways that you can practice that give you what your body needs at any moment in time. Breathe your way here. Find your sideways. Engage them. Reach the arm up without collapse. Can you find extension and engagement simultaneously? All right, great. And then relax. Turn to the long edge of your mat. Hands can be on blocks if you want them to be. Allow yourself to move down back toward the earth. Evenness. Find your weight and balance and symmetry in your legs. Maybe shift from one to the other, just letting your hips open up. Come on up to stand. Grab your block or your 2 blocks, however you might need. And this side might be different from the other side. Don't assume one is the same. So right foot is now forward. Find your block, come into a bent knee and put the block on the inside edge of your knee. Because your forearm's now coming close, or your elbows coming close to your knee, try to move your knee away from your arm. Instead of locking the 2 together, try to move your knee away. Spread out the bones of your feet, both feet. Root down, rise up. Okay. Bring that arm overhead if you want. Bring the arm up to the sky. Bring the hand down. What's going to give you a space across your chest? Length through your side bodies, engagement in your side bodies. Breathe into the pose. How's your back knee? Is it melty and soft, or is it locked out and hard? Are you able to feel the roots of both feet? How's your breath? Is your neck taking over for anything? All right, then when we come out of the pose, take your time, push off your foot, reach into a reverse triangle pose. Just let the side body open. And then we're going to come back into a bent knee, Virabhadrasana. So as your arms, you can have your hands down, you can have your elbows bent, you can stretch your arms out. Check in with your neck and shoulders. Are you puppet stringing with your shoulders up at your ears? What can you do to keep the shoulder blades moving down the back? If there's any discomfort, make a different choice. Can your side bodies engage on your exhale and lengthen on your inhale? Don't worry about how bent your knee is. Just go where your body goes. Is your back knee soft enough to yield? How's the breath? Okay. And as you're ready, if you want a little side body stretch, open that up. All right, and then let's come back. Swing back to the front of your mat. Put your hands down, okay? Readjust your feet so your right foot is forward, finding a lunge. Rise up for a moment. Balance yourself. And then bring your hands back down, dog pose. Symmetry here. Enjoy the release of your head. Try taking your hands and feet wide, turn your toes in. So everybody take your feet to the wide edge of the mat, or to the edges of the mat, and then turn your toes in. Feel the sit bones widen. Is there any ease in your breath? Is there any ease in your belly? Come forward into a plank, so redo your legs. Unless you want your legs wide, you can keep your feet wide if you want. Stabilize yourself here. Breathe well. And then bend your knees and come down onto the ground. Wide legs again. Decide whether you want toes turned down or a little out. Arms down at your sides. Palms facing the floor. Take a deep breath and lift everything up. Feel the work in your back body. Counter some of that with a little effort in your front. Neck is long, shoulder blades tips down. Exhale, release toward the floor. Come back up and move the body around. Swirl, swish, sway. On all fours, take your left foot straight back onto the ground. Curl your toes under. We're going to go back and forth between these two actions. So cross your leg over. So our left leg is back. We're crossing our left leg over to the right. Turn and look out over the right. Stretch. And then look out to the left. Bring your left knee up toward your armpit and hug it. Back and forth. See what it feels like to inhale as you take your foot back and look out over that foot. And exhale as you draw the knee and armpit toward each other. One more time. Crossing it over. Inhale. Exhale. Hugging it in. Place that knee down onto the ground. Change sides. Take your right foot back. Curl toes under. Cross right foot to the left. Square hips and shoulders. Take a breath. Look out over that foot. Just enjoy this for a moment. Inhale. Feel the stretch in your side waist. Exhale. Knee and armpit come to each other. Look at your knee. Inhale. Bring it on back. Hips and shoulders square. Exhale. Knee and armpit toward each other. Let's do it one more time. Cross it over. Deep breath. Exhale. Come back, all fours. Stretch back to child's pose for a moment. Let your back rest. Feel the integration. Allow your hips to sink into their compression, into their deep flexion. When you're ready, let's go ahead and find our way back to dog pose. Open up your body. Feel the symmetry. Breathe your way here. When you're ready, lift your right leg up. Feel the work. Square up the hips for a moment. Exhale, knee to nose. Use your core. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring it forward to a lunge. Rise up. Take your time. Turn and open up to the side. Blocks, have a block if you need it. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. As always, we want to have the external rotation of our hip in place when we come up onto that leg instead of starting on in Uttanasana and then opening the hip and coming back. This is not so safe for your hip joints. So start in an open field. Bend your knee, place the block. A little extra balance can be supported by taking the block to the outside edge of your right foot a little bit wider. Find your way up. Come on up to Ardha Chandrasana. Open the chest. How's the knee you're standing on? Are you soft? Can you root to rise? Feel the spine grow. Lift that leg in the air. Find your sideways. Draw the drawstring in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, condense. How's your neck? Can you relax? All right, now, for just a little bit of discomfort, because this isn't uncomfortable enough, close your eyes. I actually find it easier to close my eyes in this pose than the other one. I don't know if you feel that way. Okay, open them back up. Take a giant step back, coming out of the pose. So, if you feel that you need support in Ardha Chandrasana, we're going to come to the second side and then we'll go pass through the knee to chest vinyasa afterwards. When you come to the side, if you know you need a little support, try, being close to a wall, a piece of furniture. Maybe you can put your foot up on a piece of furniture. Maybe your back can rest against a wall. Maybe your hand can be resting on furniture instead of a block. So find the way that supports you in this posture. Make sure when you come in and out, your foot is pointing straight ahead and not turning in. Stay in the external rotation of the hip. Once you're up there, engage the outer hip in the air. Engage the sideways. Keep the knees soft. Open across the chest. Feel the crown to tail to heel. How is your breathing? And then just get uncomfortable. Maybe even dim your eyes. Maybe even squint if you feel afraid to close them all the way. What happens to your chest? Do you collapse? Can you stay open and free? And then open your eyes back up again. Giant step back out of the posture. Swing back to dog pose as you're ready. 2 feet on the ground. Feel that sense of symmetry and length. Deep breaths.
Lift the left leg up in the air. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it on back. Exhale, foot down onto the ground. Wide-legged stance, turn your toes in. Breathe into the deep low belly. Soften your knees. Come forward into a plank. Adjust your feet. Breathe deeply. Come resting your knees down onto the floor. Find your way onto the ground. And this time, let's take our hands overhead if your shoulders allow, palms facing toward each other. Inhale, lift your body up. All right, exhale and melt your body back down. Come on to all fours and swish, swish your body around. All right, we're going to come up to either a wall or a piece of furniture. So a desk, whatever you have, a table, a chair. We're going to find first just half dog. So extend your spine. Notice if your shoulders collapse. See if you can integrate and find that long line. Your knees can bend as much as you want. All right, and then we're going to come forward, and you decide if this is good for your shoulder or not. Elbows come on to whatever surface you found. Higher is usually a little better, so like a kitchen countertop or a dresser or a desk is probably better than a couch or something. If you find a good height, you can also just do this against a wall. Drop your thumbs toward your spine. Stretch your triceps. See what it feels like to lengthen your side bodies, to relax your neck. Try not to fall into your armpits. Lift under your armpits and just extend the length here. And then take a step forward, come out of the pose, and shake out your arms. Okay, everything's soothing, relaxing. Okay, I know we do this nerve glide a lot in the air, but we're going to do it against an actual wall. So take your hand to a wall, wherever you are. Stand in Tadasana. Drop the shoulder down. Open across your collarbone. See, there's a few different ways you can make this adjustable. You can bring your hand forward of your shoulder, of your torso. This will make it easier. You can bring your hand a little back behind your shoulder. That will make it a little bit more zingy in the nerve glide. You can have your hand directly in relationship with your shoulder. You can have your hand a little lower. That might make it easier too. So experiment. Spread your hand wide. Lift the crown. Yield. Knees soft. Find your breath. Okay. Press your hand into the wall, turn the eye of the elbow up, drop the shoulder blade tip down, lift your crown, and now lift your ear. A lot of times when we do nerve glides, we move. So let's go ahead and drop the ear and lift the ear. And you can experiment, change the hand position a little bit, see what's giving you the sense that you're really opening up through your hands. Your hands tend to go numb. If you have some compression along the collarbone, this is a great way to stretch that nerve. And then shake it out. You don't want to overdo nerve glides. All right, let's change sides. So we're having our hand against the wall. The eye of the elbow turns up. With the eye of the elbow, if you are very I'm not hypermobile, so I can't do this, but you know how sometimes when people bend their elbows are actually higher than their wrist, or when they straighten their elbows. So if you're hypermobile where your elbow actually pops up, don't turn the eye of the elbow toward the sky. Instead, turn it slightly in so that you're keeping your elbow from hyperextension. Press your palm into the wall. Feel Tadasana. Soft knees, ground, rise up, feel the breath, and then start to move. Open up the ear, lift it, and then drop the ear and lift the other ear. Just kind of going back and forth. Our neck takes so much habituated unconscious tension, especially with all the computer work, driving, all these things that we do.
that can really hold and harbor a lot of tension there. So let some of that get free. Press your palm, spread your palm, and then relax that and shake out your hands. Okay. Take a deep breath. Turn your palms open. See if you can get your collarbones to widen, the heads of the arm bones to draw back, the shoulder blade tips with little weights on them, dropping down and toward the low spine. Integrate with the core, be self-supporting, drop some weight into your feet, the knees are soft. Big breath to relax. Where's tension? Okay, shake out the hands one more time. Rise up, take a breath. Fold in half. Grab onto your elbows. Take your feet as wide as you want them. Grab onto your elbows and bobble your head around and just let it release. Shaking. You can shake your shoulders, your hips. Make sure you're holding onto your upper arms or your elbows so you're relaxed in your shoulders. Bobble the head. Go ahead and bring your knees down onto the ground. Last movement of a cat-cow. So feel the arching and the rounding. Feel the breathing. Feel the sway and the swish and the swivel. And then as you're ready, rest back towards child's pose. Deep compression in the hip joints. Relax your head. Come up to sit. You're going to grab something to sit upon, a blanket, whatever you got. Okay, so sit on the edge of it and stretch your legs straight out. The right leg is extended straight. We're going to do this two different ways. So let's start with an open twist. So we're bending our knee. The heel is in line with the sit bone or wider. So decide how your comfort is. We're going to twist. So our right leg is straight, our left knee is bent. We're going to twist right. So right hand behind you, put the elbow on the inside of the knee, drop the shoulders down. Make sure you're not rolling back. You might need more height underneath your sit bones. You want the front of your sit bones to be on the front of the blanket, and you want to feel the front edge of the sit bones. Drop the shoulders and open the chest. How's your neck? Can you relax? And then come back to center. You can keep the legs like this, or if you want a little bit deeper of a hip stretch, cross the left leg over the right leg. Wrap your forearm around your knee, or if you're going deeper into the pose, you can put your elbow to the outside of the knee. I caution you with the elbow to the outside of the knee to make sure you're moving from the center body outward instead of the outer body inward. So if you're hooking and then trying to figure out where to put your spine, it's better to wrap your forearm and let your spine find its movement, and maybe your elbow will eventually get to the outer knee. Drop the shoulders, open the collarbones. See if you can prevent the rounded hunch, the roll back on the sacrum. Stay on the sit bones, stay with your sternum. See if you can feel your sacrum and your sternum, these broad, flat bones in the body. Well, they're not totally flat, but they're broad. See if you can feel them open and broaden. Come back to center. Bring your knees in for a moment. Let your back round. We hardly ever say round your back. Let your back round. And then we're going to come to the other side. So now our left leg is going to be bent. We're going to go backwards through this. So cross your leg over. We'll do this one first and then the open twist. Hook your forearm around your knee or elbow to the outer knee. Hand behind you. So right hand behind you to lift. Feel the center of your sit bones. See if your sacroiliac joints are in a happy place. Feel the extension through your spine and rotate. Rotate with breath. Rotate with breath. Decide how far you want to go. Feel the pose. What's available? All right, and then come back to center. Unwind the leg. place the foot in line with the sit bone or wider than the sit bone, wherever you naturally want to be for your body. It's okay to do this pose with your legs wider than your hips, both legs. You can widen this out. You do not have to be in line with the hip, with the sit bones. So choose your pathway. The most important thing you're doing is not rolling back onto the sacrum. So if you find yourself rolling back, try wider legs. Sometimes it's easier to get on the head of the sit bones instead of rolling back onto the sacrum. Lift the arm inside edge of the knee with that forearm or upper arm or elbow. Feel the length of the crown, the drop of both sit bones. Internally rotate the left thigh. Find the right foot grounding. How is your breath? Relax your traps. Open across your chest. Even twists have so much possibility. There's no locking. There's no getting stuck. Moving with breath. And then relax and melt. 2 feet in, wrap your knees, tuck your chin. All right, take your blanket, put it underneath your spine. If you want to roll it like a round roll or narrow it up, feel free. 2 blankets, feel free. Whatever is going to be a restorative, supportive back bend for you. So adjust any height or width or shape of the blanket to suit your needs. If your arms can cactus, maybe try that. If not, elbows a little lower, palms out straight, arms down, arms crossed over. See what's available to you to allow your chest to stay open in a very comfortable position. So let go of the need for like, oh, I gotta stretch, right? So what can you soften? Maybe your legs are bent, maybe your legs are straight, maybe your legs are in Supta Baddha Konasana. What's gonna give you your breath back? If you've been searching for your breath all this time, what's gonna give you your breath back here? Do you need support under your head? Can you feel the lower rib cage move, the belly move? Are your shoulders able to rest in the openness? If you're a habitual chest collapser and back rounder, can this be supportive? And it doesn't have to be, your arms can be down at your sides and you still can be opening the heart. There's no rules about what your shoulder position needs to be to keep the chest and breath and heart open and free. When you're ready, go ahead and move out of there. Bring your knees to your chest. Get the blanket out from underneath you. Okay, we have just, a moment to move into Shavasana. What do you need? If I weren't here to say, do this, do that, what do you need? Hey, do you need like a plow pose or a happy baby pose? Do you need a twist? Do you need a hip stretch? Do you need to just lie down? Do you need to put your legs up the wall or up a chair or up a couch? Do you need to curl into a ball and rest in child's pose? What do you need? So follow the instincts of the body. Try not to swim in the same rut you swim in. Okay, so find the possibility. What is your body asking for? If we live in the moment, if we're aware, we know the answer. Okay, so follow, listen to your intuition, your awareness, your presence, and it will give you an answer of what you need. If your pose is two-sided, make sure you do both sides. If your pose is one-sided, enjoy the symmetry. Take your time, and at any moment that you are ready, you can come into Shavasana. There is no rush. This is the joy of your practice being all by yourself. You can turn the computer off and just rest for a half hour in Shavasana if you want. Just find the gift of what this moment is for you. As you come to rest, enjoy the body. What does it feel like to scan and drop? Is there a part of you that struggles with dropping your weight? Do you need support to drop your weight? Is your belly free to breathe? Do you need some weight over your eyes? Maybe a little eye pillow or anything that serves? Are you cold? Do you need weight over you? Warmth over you? Settle into the breath. Every breath is a free, open possibility. Every breath. Begin to deepen your breathing again. Don't move yet, just feel yourself at rest. Be conscious, aware of the ease, the possibility that your body can move any way. As you invite breath in, invite possibility. Let your mind be a student of the body's awareness. Can the mind listen to the body's possibilities? You can move anywhere right now. You can move in any direction. Is the mind open to that freedom? Find movement now and come out of Shavasana any way that serves you best. There's no rules. Coming onto your side, if that feels right, to help yourself upright. Once you are seated, try placing your hands down for just a moment on your knees, palms up. Open your chest. Breathe into the openness that you feel, the groundedness that you feel. As you're ready, place your hands together. Keep the chest open. Bow in. Offer your energy, the open mind, the open breath, the open body, the open heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Good to see you all.